Artistic Spectrum is a nonprofit organization in Knoxville, Tennessee, and our mission is to provide creative and recreational opportunities to both children and adults with autism spectrum disorders. So we focus on fine arts workshops where children and adults can both come and learn music or dance or photography. And we also provide family fun events where they can go to performances that are sensory friendly. We have a very hard-working board with no paid staff, and we also operate with volunteers from the University of Tennessee and Maryville College. We very much want to show individuals with autism spectrum disorders that they are very capable, and we also want to help them develop their talents. We want to show the community how capable people with autism spectrum disorders are, and that they should be accepted as a part of the community. They are contributing. So at Artistic Spectrum, we're always looking for valuable projects that help us team up with others to carry out our mission. When VSA Tennessee came to us and said that they had a connection with Vietnam Autism Network and that they wanted to work with someone in Tennessee, we were thrilled to be a part of this. The Letters from Vietnam project has 8 participants, 4 boys from East Tennessee, we have 3 from Knox County and 1 from Dandridge, and we also have 4 boys from Vietnam. All 8 of the participants have an autism spectrum disorder. All 8 participants have been photographing the area in which they live and surrounding areas, and they have been writing biographical letters to each other across the seas. So a big part of our project is Alana Rosen, who is the project director. She has a lot of experience working with people with special needs. She's a public school teacher who is dual certified in both art education and special education. And she's also taught at the Summer Art Academy for the Knoxville Museum of Art for several summers. So she really has worked with lots of different types of children in lots of different situations with lots of different mediums. The Letters from Vietnam project has also had some contributions from local award-winning nature photographer Steve Ziegler, who came to the Knoxville Art Museum to meet with the participants from East Tennessee to teach them about the difference in formats and how photographs look different from the camera lens to the digital display to the actual printing and then framing. There are lots of different stages, and your photograph looks different in those different stages. The first Letters from Vietnam photography hike was to Camp Wesley Woods. It was a trial hike to see if the participants really liked photography, and we also brought along some other middle and high schoolers to try out photography and try out mini hiking, so to speak. Camp Wesley Woods is a summer camp that also is a big field trip destination. It's in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains in Townsend, Tennessee. It's only just a very few miles from the national park. And they have very easy but lovely trails, so it was a great place to just kind of try shooting and, having your first kind of outdoor photography experience. We gave the students scavenger hunts so that they would have something to focus on, because people with autism frequently like to have a little bit of direction but not too much. So just knowing that they have a kind of a checklist of things that they have to do while they're out there helps them kind of stay focused and know what they're doing there today. So we had things like searching for letter shapes in nature, or looking for something that's blue or something that looks sticky, so that they would focus in on not just looking at the broad picture, but look at individual things and look at things more closely and from different angles. The second hike for the photography project participants was to the Great Smoky Mountains Institute at Tremont, to Spruce Flats Falls. That is a quite impressive waterfall, and it's a bit harder hike, more difficult. It was the day after a rain, and we were very pleased that all of the boys did a really great job that day. A lot of times people with autism spectrum disorders have some serious sensory issues, and walking through mud or getting a little damp is something that feels really bad, or even getting sweaty on the trail. But they all did great, and we like to think that these little things, like just taking them on a photo hike, helps them work through their sensory processing disorders in some ways. The third photography hike was a city hike. So the boys met at the Knoxville Museum of Art and then walked around downtown Knoxville, and that was a really cool experience for some of them who may not spend a lot of time in the center of the city. They talked about the difference between nature landscape photography and cityscapes and the different shapes that you see in the city as opposed to nature, and the different kind of angles that work when taking pictures of buildings or other man-made things rather than things that you find naturally on the trail. Photographs from both the East Tennessee participants and the Vietnam participants will be on display beginning in June at Pellissippi State's Bagwell Gallery. They're going to be there for the majority of the summer. And then for sure they'll be exhibiting at the Emporium Gallery, the home of the Arts and Cultural Alliance, in downtown Knoxville. And that's for April, which is Disability Awareness Month. So we hope that we can shatter some stereotypes and show people what people with autism are capable of. The Letters from Vietnam project has been a real joy to put together. We've had so many people coming together to make it work. We've been able to watch the participants from learning to steady a camera to learning to frame a shot and learning to get shots from different angles and really explore with the visual medium. A lot of people with autism are really geared toward the visual, and so photography is kind of a natural art to begin with. So you get some immediate feedback when you take a photograph. You can see what it looks like on your camera immediately. If you were doing something more complicated work like a painting, it might take you weeks or months to see what it turns out to be, and to start that all over would be a really big process. But getting to see it immediately and within a few months getting to see it hanging in a gallery is a really great experience for our group.
To go from the place that we call home to wander in the hills of Tennessee. In our childhood we did go down the Smoky Mountain Road. In my memory it all comes back to me. Oh, those Smoky Mountain memories, how dear in my heart they are to me. When I hear that whippoorwill calling through those hills, in my memory